Thanks for clicking the video, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below what your thoughts are, and I hope you enjoy the video. And just like that, another fake protection, another fake rule that the left, that the liberals decide to create against Donald Trump, against the rule of law here in the United States is gone. What is that rule? Well, months ago, Donald Trump and DHS, ICE, whoever it was, decided to start deporting illegal immigrants to countries that weren't their country of origin, which is usually how it works. So usually when a person gets deported, they're deported back to their country of origin. Well, one thing that a lot of these illegal immigrants have started doing is claiming that if they are deported back to their country of origin, they will be persecuted. They'll be hurt. They'll be attacked. Some reason like that. They're basically claiming asylum. And so what the administration was doing was they were deporting them to other countries. They were saying, okay, well, you don't want to go back to Venezuela? Fine. We'll send you to El Salvador. Because El Salvador said, we'll take them. So if this wasn't we'll just throw a dart at a board and send you to that country, we were asking, and that country was saying, yes, we'll take them. So how did we get here? Well, the plaintiffs in this case, they were 4 undocumented immigrants, illegal immigrants, that had deportation orders. And they challenged the government's ability to remove them to countries not specified in their removal orders. So the removal order will say, hey, Joe is being sent back to X country. Well, that can take time for varying reasons, whether it's having to confirm with X country or whether it's having to just find them or any reason like that. Maybe they skip bail, some reason. What this practice was doing was it was allowing the administration to just basically call around and say, hey, will you take Joe? And any country that said yes, we were just sending them to that country. Now, these plaintiffs claimed that the countries they were being sent to would hurt them, violate them, cause harm to them, and that the Trump administration was just willfully sending people to their death, basically. So the lower court here, another district court, they didn't stop the process. What they did was they created a 10-day window, basically saying that the immigrant has 10 days to challenge his removal to a third party. And it can be for any sort of cause. This is the 10-day window is what the Supreme Court overturned. So the lower court did not stop the process. They just prolonged it, like lower courts normally do. They said, okay, look, you can still send them to countries that are willing to accept them, but you have to provide them time to object to this. You have to provide them time to explain why this is going to hurt them. So the legal issue here is a little interesting. I'm kind of intrigued by the justice's decision. So the core issue was whether or not the government must provide notice and a chance to object before deporting individuals to third-party countries, just third-party countries, particularly when such removals could expose those individuals to risks of persecution or torture, any sort of harm that would come to them, that sort of thing. Now, the lower court's order, their aim was to provide a window for the immigrants to challenge or make known dangers. But what the Supreme Court's majority decided was that this requirement was not based on any current law. There wasn't any precedent, anything like that, to say such a window of opportunity was required. They didn't say that it was legal for the president to do this, or that it was well within the authority of ICE or CBP or the Justice Department, et cetera, et cetera. They just said that there was no current law to say they had to. So, in my opinion, this looks like the Supreme Court arguing against legislating from the bench, which, in my opinion, is a pretty big win. Now, this case was decided on the Supreme Court's shadow docket. It's kind of a secondary docket that allows them to make very quick decisions without having to go through the normal process. And it's usually used for emergency orders. And it's actually been used a lot recently for immigration policy. And beyond anything that we've talked about, the most important part of this decision is it is once again cementing that this court, or at least the conservative majority on this court, truly sees that there is a deferment to the executive in broad issues across this country. Donald Trump, as the executive, as the elected executive in this country, is allowed to make administrative policies to fulfill the policies that he ran on. The Supreme Court has elected time and time again in the last 6 months to defer to that policy. They've basically said the people voted for Donald Trump. Donald Trump told the people he was going to do X. We're not going to overrule the ruling of the people simply because it might not be pretty or we might not like the way it's being done. But just because we don't like it doesn't mean that it is illegal or unconstitutional. And I think that's the most important thing for most of these decisions we're seeing come out of the Supreme Court is there is a deferment to the executive branch saying, while we have oversight of these issues, depending on what the issue is, we don't have the ability to just overrule it because we don't like it. The executive gets great deference to how he does things. Everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below your thoughts. What are your thoughts about the Supreme Court's decisions this term? Any of that stuff. We've got a couple days left here in June, and there are some really big, important decisions coming out. See y'all next time.